Hey guys, it's Allie and welcome to another pregnancy update. Hopefully this is the last update. I'm in my 40th week, so I'm full term. I'm sorry that I haven't kept up with the weekly updates. I've just been super busy, and I know I always say that, but I think I'm behind like 3 weeks. But pretty much in those 3 weeks, all that's been happening is just waiting. Honestly, baby is full term, so she's fully grown and ready, so we're ready when she is. The biggest things are nesting. That is such a thing, and I don't know if I mentioned it in the last video. I have done things here and there just to like get ready and prep, but nesting is definitely a thing, and I'm just cleaning and organizing and doing tons and tons and tons of laundry. Yeah, I guess like the past 3-4 weeks, I just feel like I kind of blew up. And I know I also said this in my last update, but I felt like generally I was carrying pretty small, and then at the very end, it was just like, boom, here's the baby. That's been kind of tricky. I've been feeling good. I'm still feeling good. I'm starting to get uncomfortable. I know at this point, most people are like super uncomfortable, and I'm starting to get to that point now. So I'm actually 40 weeks and a day. I'm a day past my due date, but it's just an estimate, so don't get discouraged. And I also have read that about 80% of first-time moms tend to go past their due date. So typically I think people don't get concerned until you're past the 41 mark. I think leading up into the 42nd week. I finally stopped working, although I did take a client this morning because I'm like, I'm still here. So I went in for one client this morning, but other than that, I've stopped working finally just this past week. So I think it's like 3 days that I haven't worked, which has been tricky for me. But again, going back to the nesting thing, it is good because now I have time to like prep my home and get my home ready, even though we've been pretty prepared for a couple of weeks now. All of her clothes are washed. Everything's kind of just ready. The car seats are in. The hospital bags are done. I will be making a what's in my hospital bag video, so I'll probably film that right after this actually. So if you want to take a look at that, I've just gotten ideas from other people because obviously this is my first time. This whole time I was super concerned about the baby coming early because I have been active and moving and standing every single day throughout the whole pregnancy. So in my head, I thought, okay, people are told to walk and be active to help induce labor. So since I was like that the entire time, I was so concerned about making sure that she made it to at least 37, 38 weeks. And even at that point, I know I'm going to look back at this and be like, what is wrong with you? Because I was so concerned about even saying it out loud. I'm like embarrassed to say it, but I was concerned about taking care of all my clients and making sure that their appointments were done. That way I could go on leave and be at peace and know that everyone's taken care of. And I was worried that if I went early, I would be like scattered trying to find people to take care of my clients and blah blah blah. Because for those of you who don't know, I have my own private hair studio, so it's just me. Thankfully I have friends that have been helping me out and will be helping me out while I'm gone, but I had people booked and I didn't want to like just throw that on to other people or just leave my clients like up in the air. So I did actually have had people booked up until the day before my due date, so up until 2 days ago. And I was a little bit concerned because I was cramping, and I figured, you know what, let them come earlier and that way they're taken care of. So I managed to move a few of my clients a week early, which thankfully they're like super understanding and they were willing to move their appointments so I can give birth. But anyway, this all sounds so ridiculous. I'm well aware. So they moved up and I was excited and I was like, okay, now we're done. We're at peace. Baby could come. Well, I went to the doctor thinking, okay, we'll progress a little bit, or the last week of me working, I did go to the doctor, and it wasn't my usual doctor, but she had checked and she said that I was just under a centimeter dilated. So not a full centimeter, but like getting there. So I'm thinking, okay, there's going to be movement, there's going to be progress. I'm going to finish out this week. We're going to go get checked on the next appointment, and we're going to get going. Because in my head, why wouldn't it work out that way? Finished up the week, I still had a lot of cramping and still tons of the Braxton Hicks. I went into the appointment expecting for them to be like, okay, you're like 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters. Same thing. So no progress. I was a little bit discouraged because that was my 39th week. It was like 39 and a half weeks. So just recently. So I was a little bit discouraged because I was kind of hoping for it not to go that way, and I was hoping for them to be like, okay, like any day now. So I started stressing because that's just the type of person I am. So after that point, I've been done working. This is where we are now. I'm done working. There wasn't progress, and I do have an appointment coming up. Hopefully it's not going to be needed. Hopefully this little one decides to make an arrival this weekend, but we don't know. But pretty much what I've been doing is just getting ready and looking up different ways to like induce labor naturally and things like that. My whole thing is I really don't want to be induced medically, and I don't want a C-section. What happens, but ideally I would like to go into labor naturally and have a natural birth, or an unmedicated birth, I should say. Whatever is meant to happen will happen. Everything will be fine as long as the baby's okay. I'm good. But in a perfect world, things would go a certain way. So yeah, so I've been just looking things up and willing to try almost anything. The one thing that I'm not trying, and I will not try, is to drink castor oil. I know a lot of people swear by it and say it works, but to me, I don't want to risk it. They say that it kind of makes your intestines act up, and that's what makes the contractions come on. And I've also heard that you can get diarrhea. Don't want that. TMI, but I don't want that. I've also heard or have read that it can sometimes cause the baby to have its first poop inside the meconium, I think is what it's called, and that can be very dangerous. So to me, I feel like that was not worth it. I can do other things to try to help things move, but for that, I wasn't willing to try. So I've been going on tons and tons of walks, long walks. I've done this thing where you like curb walk. I feel like that's a bad term, not curb walking. Anyways, it's like you step up with one foot on a curb and the other one on the street and kind of just walk like that. And then you switch sides, obviously. Like that actually kind of helped, because as I did that, I felt like things moving, meaning like the baby going down, and a little bit of pressure. But who knows? So TJ and I have just been going on a lot of walks, drinking tons of pineapple juice. I bought some dates because I read that like leading up to it, you can have dates to help kind of prepare your cervix and things like that. Doing some yoga with my doula, different exercises, squats. Just yesterday I had cooked a meal with like a balsamic chicken with some sort of balsamic vinaigrette, because apparently balsamic vinegar helps. Things like that. Just honestly trying anything to get things going. And these are some things that I've seen or have read that people start to do a couple of weeks before their due date so they don't go past. But again, going back, I was so concerned with keeping her in because I was scared. And so now I'm like, okay, let's go. But you know what? What's going to happen will happen. I have been getting more cramps and I have been feeling more pressure. I feel like the baby did drop, but I still feel like I'm carrying kind of high. But I don't know. It's really so hard to tell. And again, this is all new to me, so I don't know what I should look out for. Something else that is making it a little bit difficult is that I have a really, really high pain tolerance. And I know people are going to roll their eyes and be like, girl, you're crazy because contractions are intense. And I'm aware. I've heard that. I've also heard a couple of stories where people went in for a checkup and they were in labor and had no idea, like having full on contractions, and for them it just felt like light cramps. So I don't know. In my head, I'm like, what if I'm one of those people? But then what if I get full on contractions and it's going to slap me across the face and be like, these are what they feel like? I don't know. I don't know what to expect. This next part might be a little TMI, but this is all natural. I have lost, to me, seemed like the mucus plug little by little over time. Now, the mucus plug also regenerates. So when I first saw something that looked like it could have been the mucus plug, I got very nervous again, worried that she was going to come early. And then, I heard that it can regenerate and things like that. So I was a little bit at ease. So that has happened. But last night on my due date, I saw a little bit of what looked like spotting to me. And from what I gathered, it could be the bloody show, as they say. And that's an indicator, I think, that labor is going to be happening in the near future. So I'm hoping. It was a little confusing because some places I've read that when you lose your mucus plug, it could have like a little pink or red, and that could mean that labor is a week or two away or will be coming closer sooner than that. But then I was reading that the bloody show means that it can happen like within the next 24 or 48 hours. But then some people say that it's kind of the same thing. Again, I don't know. Keeping my fingers crossed, hoping and praying that she will be here soon. I don't want to rush her, but at the same time I do. But I have to trust that she knows when to come. But then I also just want her to be here. I don't want this to come across like I'm complaining, because I'm not complaining at all. I feel super blessed that I'm able to experience this, and I'm taking every second in and just enjoying it and embracing it. As much as I want her out, I am reminding myself to enjoy it. I think that should be it for the update. I don't know what else to say besides I really hope that she'll be here soon. And I know TJ and I can't wait to hold her and just love on her and kiss her little chubby cheeks and just have her in our arms. I was going to have TJ on this update, but he's out running and getting things ready. He's not able to make it, and I figured just in case last night was an indicator that she will be here soon, I wanted to at least get one last update in for you guys. So hopefully this is the last pregnancy update. I will try my best to do like a postpartum update. Maybe I'll see you guys next week for 41 weeks pregnant, but I hope not. Either way, it will be good. I'll be sure to have him back though, because I know it's fun to see his side of things, and not just hear it from me. He's also super involved and super excited. So if timing works out and he's able to, I will get him on here for you guys. Another thing real quick before I forget, my doula has been working with me. She's incredible. And the biggest thing lately that she's had me working on is birth affirmations. So it's just phrases that I either say to myself out loud or in my head, just to remind myself of all the positive things that I want to happen, all the things that will happen, and just put that out there and just have good vibes. So I'm telling myself that I love my baby and she will be here when the perfect time happens, and I trust in her to come in the perfect time, things like that. So I feel like that actually is really helpful. Some people might think that's silly, but I actually do think that helps. It's little reminders to be like, breathe, things will be okay. Everything will work out. I'll show you guys my belly again. Hopefully it's the last belly shot with my baby in here. I will keep you guys posted. I will let you know what ends up happening eventually. But For those of you who have been on this journey with me from the beginning, thank you. For those of you who are just joining me now, thank you. And just thank you. Thank you for allowing me to share this with you and for allowing me to even just document this for myself to look back on. And I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm so excited. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, and if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. And as always, be sure to stay happy. He's home.
Hello, my little pretty
Hi.
wife. Hi, your pretty wife.
Hi, honey. Nothing. I just did a hopefully last pregnancy update.